Is there a recipe for success? A pattern for results? There is, and they act with mathematical certainty. Let's take a look at the pattern that creates our results. This is the results formula. We need to understand a few things about our results first. Number one, goal setting is an intellectual exercise, while goal achievement, results, is a lawful process. What you seek is seeking you. Rumi said that. There are goals you know you could do. There are goals you think you can do, but the most worthy goal grows you. It will require you being a different person to achieve. And lastly, the right goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Let this diagram represent you. I use this simple yet very powerful figure to give us an image to work with because we think in pictures. If I ask you to think of your car, notice a picture of your car flashes onto the screen of your mind. If I ask you to not think of the Statue of Liberty, notice a picture of Lady Liberty comes onto the screen of your mind. But if I ask you to think of your mind, you may not get an image. And if you do, it's most likely the gray blob you call your brain. But your brain isn't your mind any more than your elbow. So since nobody has ever seen the mind and this lack of image causes confusion, Dr. Thurman Fleet created this stick person in 1934 to give us that much needed image. Once again, let this diagram represent you. The top half of the big circle is the conscious mind. This is the thinking, reasoning, educated you. This portion of you receives information from the outside world through the five senses. What are the five senses? See, hear, smell, touch, taste. Everybody knows those, and we share those with the rest of the animal kingdom. When a person allows outside stimuli to direct his or her thinking, they focus on what is rather than what can be. They live from the outside in. We call it report card syndrome or bank account syndrome or maybe the scale, as they let these things dictate what and how they think. If we want to live from the inside out, we must use our intellectual faculties. So everybody knew the five sensory factors. Anybody want to take a shot at the six intellectual faculties that separate us from the other animals? Perception, reason, intuition, memory, imagination, and will. All of the other animals are completely at home in their environment, living on instinct, blending in, but not us. And that's because in addition to our instincts, we're blessed with these intellectual faculties that give us the ability to, hear me now, create our own environment. We can use our mental faculties to deliberately choose thoughts that are aligned with the results we want, regardless of what our current conditions or circumstances are, like the bank account or the report card. I'll sometimes say, live the life you want rather than the life you think you were dealt. And it all starts with our thinking. Buddha, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Earl Nightingale, Andrew Carnegie, among many others, are quoted as saying, we become what we think about. Given that statement, do you know what you're becoming? We're still at the top half of the big circle of the conscious mind. The conscious mind can accept or reject any idea. This is important because the thoughts you choose and accept, whether they come from the outside in, family, friends, nosy neighbors, newspapers, or the inside out, will eventually determine your results. Think of this acceptance or rejection of an idea as the firewall or antivirus software protecting your subconscious programming. As a thought is accepted and believed to be true in the conscious mind, whether it is currently true or not, helpful or harmful, it is impressed upon the subconscious mind. Now, unlike the conscious mind, the subconscious mind can only accept. It cannot reject. It doesn't argue. It definitely doesn't have a sense of humor, and it cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It just goes to work. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will become a reality. So now let's jump into the lower half of the big circle. Let this represent your subconscious or emotional mind, the infinite you. Your thoughts turn into pictures on the screen of your mind. Through repetition and getting emotionally involved in that image, feeling it, that image is planted like a seed in the subconscious mind. Once planted, those thoughts and feelings determine the level at which we vibrate. That level of vibration or frequency then creates a signal that is emitted outward. And once emitted, by law, like attracts like, and that signal begins to draw to it other things and people that are on the same frequency. To continue with the planting analogy, take an acorn. The acorn has the pattern DNA to grow into a great oak tree. Never an elm, never a carrot. Once planted, its unique frequency attracts to it everything it needs to grow into that mighty oak. It doesn't ask how, it just becomes what it is. It doesn't have our limiting beliefs. It just becomes what it is. The soil doesn't care what is planted in it. It'll support an acorn the same as it supports a weed. The same is true of the soil of our subconscious mind. It doesn't care what is planted in it. It'll just as easily grow dreams as it will grow doom. Dream or doom each has its own unique frequency, which controls the vibration of the body, which determines the actions and ultimately the results. Let's continue with this planting analogy and bring it back home. Nature's order is seed, plant, blossom, fruit, right? Have you ever seen a farmer go into the field and say, that's not what I planted? Never. Well, we adhere to the same laws. Every thought that we have is a seed that has the pattern DNA to grow into and manifest into whatever that thought is, good or bad. Now, the problem with that is it's estimated that of our 60,000 daily thoughts, more than half of those are negative. Our negative self-speak is our biggest enemy. Like what Bob Proctor says, don't be a victim of negative self-talk. Remember, you're listening. So just like a farmer, if he wants to change his fruit, he needs to change the seed. And if we want to change our results, we need to change our thoughts. Let the little circle represent your body. The body is the instrument of the mind. And since the subconscious mind is in every cell of your body, it makes sense that the vibration of your entire body is affected by the thoughts that you get emotionally involved with. This vibration of your entire body is how you're feeling. Feeling is a word we invented to describe our awareness of our vibration. When these thoughts and feelings are impressed upon the subconscious mind, they must be expressed through the body in action, and you know this. When you feel strong and confident, you take different actions than when you feel frustrated and depressed. Not only are these thoughts and feelings expressed in action, but they also set up a magnetic force, and you begin attracting to you everything that vibrates in harmony with you. It is this action attraction that produces results. I like the way Dr. Joe Dispenza puts it. It's a little more scientific, but it's quite simple too at the same time. The thoughts we think are the electric charge in the quantum field. The feelings we emote are the magnetic charge in the quantum field. So the thought sends a signal out, the feeling draws the event back, and that is how we create. Although we easily accept these concepts when it comes to the unique frequencies of our car, stereo, television, and cell phone, I know the notions of frequency, vibration, and quantum field are a bit out there for some. So let's take a look at what a couple of heavyweights had to say about these things for validation. When I say genius, who comes to mind? Albert Einstein? Einstein said, everything is energy. That's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Match the frequency of the reality you want. Let's unpack that. Your dream reality is on a different frequency. The way we get on the same frequency is by using our imagination, higher faculty, to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And we use our will or our concentration power, which is also a higher faculty, to hold our focus on our dream. What would it feel like if I already had that ideal partner? What would it feel like if I got that promotion? What would it feel like if I was living in a perfectly healthy body? Mary Morrissey says, we can't get to our dream. We must come from it. And Dr. Wayne Dyer says, abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. Now, when Einstein was asked, how does it feel to be the smartest man alive? He said, if you want to know that, you'll have to ask Nikola Tesla. So what did Tesla say about this woo-woo stuff? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. To recap and simplify, your thoughts cause images. Those images cause and control feelings, vibration. Your feelings, vibration cause your actions, and your actions cause your results. If you want to know what you've been thinking, look at your results because your results never lie. And as long as you're on that station, those are the only results you can get. Because you can always tell what's happening on the inside by what's happening on the outside. Because our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. But here's the good news. Now that we are aware, we can change the station. We can't change the frequency of what we want, but we can change our frequency to match it. So the only questions now are, what do you really want? And how does it feel to know that it's already been given to you?